Hey plant people, it is that time again for another monthly favorites video. And I'm very proud of myself for remembering to do this in a timely manner for 2 months in a row. We're gonna see, if we can just keep this rolling and going for the next few months as well. I'm trying to record in a different location today because, I don't know, I just feel like every video I'm standing in my kitchen and I have like all these plants and stuff over here, which I feel like is more on brand for the channel, But the lighting's kind of complicated because I have like a French doors right behind me that have good lighting. I don't know how this is going to pick up on camera. So it looks okay in the viewfinder. We're just going to kind of go with it and see what happens. But I have another window over here that I have the curtains drawn over right now. And it just makes the lighting weird when you have it coming from two different locations. So anyways, I do want to say, first of all, just thank you everyone for like subscribing and interacting with my last video, my Hoya video. It's very kind of like still weird for me to be like putting videos on the internet because I'm very introverted and like I'm not even on social media and stuff a lot. And you know how the internet is, so it's just kind of like a mixed bag on putting stuff out there. But like everyone has just been like beyond my wildest dreams, like so nice and just leaving like the nicest comments and saying the nicest things and being supportive. So if you're watching this and you're like thinking about like uploading plant videos or whatever, and you're kind of just like put off by putting your stuff out there on the internet, like everyone has been so nice to me. And I just feel like this community is really, really supportive. And we just like looking at plants. So it's just like a bunch of really good people that want to look at plants together. So I would definitely like, if you want to put videos out there, I'm by no means like a professional. I'm still learning. I've only been on YouTube for a little while and I'm a small channel and everyone has just been like so nice to me. So just do it because I just feel like you're going to get a lot of support in the plant community. Like I feel like of all things to be out there and to put on the internet, like the plant community is one of the most supportive ones. And that may just be me because I'm biased, but that's just the way that I feel about it, But we're going to get into it. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants. 7, not 7, 7. I was having a really hard time choosing plants right now because, it's like spring and everything's like growing like crazy and a lot of stuff's doing really well. I may make a separate video about this, but I had mentioned about how I was having issues with this soil that I had been using. And oh my God, it's literally like soil apocalypse 2024 is the way that I'm going to remember this because I have repot like probably 75% of my collection at this point, which is like 150 to 200 plants probably, because the soil that I was using was just, I don't know, it's, and I look back and like, it's my fault too, because this just shows you like when I was washing it through and it was coming through and it was like so dark, I should have immediately been like, clearly something's up with the soil. Like I should not use this soil, but I was just being cheap. I was like, I already bought the soil. Like I'm just going to use it and I'm sure they're fine. And I would definitely say my toxic trait as a plant owner is that especially when I started out, I just had no motivation to like figure out what the best type of soil was and to like do the specific like aeroid based, like I made it chunky and stuff, but it wasn't the best way, like I could definitely improve upon that. So like I just hadn't been using the best soil, and then I used this other soil that was like total red flag. Like I should have just stopped, but I didn't, and that's my fault. So now I'm having to go back and like repot everything, but I'm just looking at it as like I could have definitely improved on that soil mix that I had been using originally. So I feel like the plants that do make it are going to be in a much better condition because the soil's far better than it was when I first started, But anyway, so that may be a separate video of this like soil disaster. I'm still trying to like work through it. So I feel like there's a lot of room for learning in that area and that may be a helpful video. Anyways, so I don't know where to start. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. This is a super common plant. This is, again, y'all, like I just have issues pronouncing all of these. In my brain, this is a Schefflera, something like that. As always, plant names will be in the description. So if you're listening to this and you're looking at this and you're like, what is she talking about? That's not what that's called. It may be correct. I'm just not pronouncing it correctly. This is a variegated version, and this is like a super, super common plant. The non-variegated version is even more common than the variegated version, which is also a very common plant. But I just really think this one is so cute with its little, like, its leaves look like little, like, stars. And these grow, this is like a very small one. They grow pretty large. So you can get these to be like a very large plant. But I found this at Lowe's on clearance for $7. So I was like, I mean, that's a bargain, $7. At first I had thought that like it wasn't super variegated, but the new leaves that are coming out are looking fairly variegated. So it gives me a little bit more hope. But this is going to be kind of hard to show on here. Maybe not. So you can see it has these like super cute little like star shaped leaves. And they come in, let me get in here. They come in so tiny. You see how cute and little these are? And this like autofocus is just, let me tell you, this camera is freaking awesome, but this autofocus, I'm just having a hard time getting used to. But yeah, so you can see how little and cute, these are literally like the cutest baby leaves I have ever seen. They just look like little baby stars, and the variegation on them is so cute. And then as they get large, I also like just like the growth pattern of this. Like I feel like this is very, like the symmetry of this plant as it grows is really pretty. And then there's some more of those leaves, those little star leaves. Yeah, she is so cute. And for $7, like, and also like Lowe's always has these too. Like I always see these at Lowe's, but I was just kind of thinking, I was like, you know, I don't really want to spend like $20 on it because it's not like my #1 most wanted plant or something. But for $7, I mean, heck yeah. And it's still really small. So this is going to be a fun one to kind of watch grow because it's going to get like big and bushy and really pretty. And I have it like right outside a south facing window. So I'm hoping that like really bright light will help with the variegation and kind of come through a little more. The next one, this is a plant. When I had originally ordered this plant, they sent me, the people that I originally ordered it from sent me a different plant. So this is a Cissus Amizonica. They sent me a Cissus discolor, which I already have. But they did refund me for it, and I had to order it from another seller. And I had heard that these like really do not travel well. So it's like difficult to order these online because they don't like it. They don't like being shipped around and stuff. And when I got it, it did not look good. Like it looked like all the leaves were yellowing, they're falling off. And it's kind of like, it feels like a little bit more of a delicate plant. And I had read that they liked, like, not the brightest light, more humid, whatever. So I had it in this area that gets, like, medium indirect light. And it just wasn't doing well at all. So I moved it into this little hanging shelf that I have in, like, a different window. And it just perks right up. Like, it is just sending leaves out like nobody's business. But this one, I really love this one. It has like these like spiky, it's almost like ivy-esque type leaves. And it's kind of like this minty, cool, silvery blue color with, I don't know, like a grayish vein. It kind of reminds me of like just a little bit my Anthurium Selby's silver, like the way that it has these kind of like silvery veins and the grayish leaf. But yeah, so this is her. And yeah, those leaves are just so pretty. And I love these like vining plants that have these like really like spiky leaves, you know. Yeah, it's so pretty. And this is the way that it grows. So it's growing in this like vine. And these leaves are much smaller, but they do look so much more healthy than they did before. So yeah, this is every time I look at this plant, I kind of like forget about this one sometimes. And then I'll go back to like water it or something. And I'm like, this is like one of the prettiest plants to me that I have. It kind of gives me that almost like fairy tale, fairy garden type vibe. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the leaves just look kind of like magical, you know? Yes, I will say, if you're interested in this plant, if you can find it like in a garden center or something, that's very much preferable than to ordering it online. But in my area, like I'm not going to find this in a garden center. So I did order it online. It did not like being shipped, but it is, I find the Discorias are kind of like thirsty plants. So just like frequent watering, making sure it doesn't dry all the way out, and putting it in like not a south facing window, but one that gets like really bright indirect light. And it's been doing so much better. So if you're in that situation, I would try that. And also like the leaves, like when it first comes out, like the middle vein is kind of this like pinky, you're probably not gonna be able to see this. Like it's just like the faintest, like rosy pink veining when they come out. Oh, shoot, I'm trying to stay under this microphone too. Okay, next one. This is, shoot, what is this? This is a Piper Sylvaticum variegated. And I've had this for several months and it just kind of didn't do anything. Like it wasn't declining the leaves. Like the tips have like a little bit of brown on them, but like not anywhere where you would think there was anything wrong with it. But it's just been like not doing anything. And then it tried to put out a leaf and the leaf kind of like withered off. And then I repotted it in like the better soil mix. And it did put out another leaf. So I'm hoping that maybe this is like the turning point and we're actually finally getting somewhere. But you can see like this little leaf right here. That is the one that it just put out. So they're very, very tiny. Very tiny. And then this one, like this variegation to me, again, this is like that kind of like weird, like muddy variegation. I'm just like the biggest fan of this. And I feel like I've talked about this plant before, but it does also have like, it's hard to describe it, kind of like these like, a little bit of like an iridescent pink, like freckles kind of. But they do come in like really white and pink. And then as they get older, they get more of that green color. And then this one, that one has a lot more white. But yeah, again, just that like mottled, muddy, I don't know what it is about this that I like so much. And it does have like a bit of pink in the vine, especially like when the new leaves come out. The vine that's attached to those new leaves, like the new growth, is fairly pink too. So I really like plants with like pink stems and stuff. I just think it's really cute. But yeah, so this one is finally growing again. I cannot wait for this one to get actually get like vining. And then I do want to take a bunch of propagations of this eventually on a future day and get them rooted like all together so it's like really bushy and a lot of like trailing vines, which will be really pretty. Okay, this one is another really common one. So I'd seen these online a lot, like as a common plant that a lot of people have, but I can never find them like in Lowe's, or as I've said before, like where I live, like we have Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. That's pretty much it. We don't have like really like super good nurseries or anything. So I had been kind of on the lookout for them because I knew it was a common plant. You could probably get it for cheaper, like if you found it at Lowe's or something. And I could never find it. And then of course, like during like summer, spring, whatever, they start getting a lot more of an inventory of like indoor and outdoor plants. And I finally found one. But I had found it like after I had already ordered one online. But it was only like $7 online to order it. So, you know, it's not like a big deal. And I found it for like super cheap. And then I think I found it for like $5 or something. And Lowe's and Home Depot have had a lot of those like little like mini wick and grow pots of it, which are like $4 or $5 to get those. So super, super accessible. You can find it pretty much anywhere, especially this time of year. But I love this plant. This is the Moon Valley Pilea, or the friendship plant. And this one, I love its growth pattern. It gets kind of like trailing, or it can get trailing as it grows out. And that's kind of like what I'm going for here. You can see that one's kind of like trying to come over the top of the pot. But this one, like, first of all, the leaves are like so funny. They're like waffles is what it reminds me of. They're like this like raised, like, I don't know, like waffly texture. And they're this really pretty color of green. And the interior of it is like this like pinkish, like maroon color. So you have this like kind of like ombre effect coming from these like veining in the middle that's like this pinkish, like maroon color into that light green. And it's funny because like I put both of those plants into one pot. And this one is the one that I got from, like, this side is the side that I got from Home Depot. And then this is the one that came from, that I had ordered. So it's funny because this one's lighter than this other one that I had found. But that just shows you, like, just how interesting plants are, how you can have, like, the same type of plant. Like, two people could have the same type of plant, or one person could have two plants that just look totally different, even though they're the same variety. So I just think it's really cool that you can have a plant that's, like, so unique and individual to you, even if everybody else in the world has it. But yeah, so this one, again, this texture, y'all, like, I wish that I could, like, send this through the camera so you could feel this texture. It's just so interesting. And I just, like, I feel like the friendship plant is, like, a good name for it because it just looks friendly to me. Like, it looks like a little cute, happy plant. This one hasn't, like, this one was in that, like, terrible soil and it just did not care. So it's, like, super easy going from, you know, what I can tell personally from my experience. And it's been growing pretty well too. I recently moved it because it's been one of my favorites, but I had it somewhere that it was definitely not getting, like, the most light. So I moved her around and she is getting more light now. And yeah, she's definitely growing a lot more. You can see her kind of leaning forwards over that pot. And I'm just kind of, like, picturing it kind of, like, draping downwards. I'm guessing, like, you could really, like, stake this up too if you wanted to go more upwards, but I'm going more for, like, the trailing look. But yeah, so Moon Valley Pilea, or the friendship plant, friendship Pilea, whatever, cute, happy plant. Next, this is, as you can already tell, my Monstera Aurea. I keep wanting to say Aurora. Like, every time I say that name, I keep, like, my brain keeps trying to say Aurora, but it's Aurea. This plant, like, I was very skeptical to get this plant because I'd heard so many people having issues with it, like, browning and just, like nothing really helping. Like, it just didn't want to not be brown. Like, it was dead set on browning up. And this has been, like, you know, knock on wood, like, I've had the best luck with this plant. Like, it has been growing like freaking crazy. And I have been starting to use just, like, a little bit of silica during waterings to kind of, like, get a jump on that it's, like, desire to brown up. So I have been adding just, like, a little bit of silica to waterings, and that may be helping also. But yeah, so she's been growing like crazy. She's growing a lot faster than my Monstera Thai constellation is, which is surprising because I just had this, like, feeling about this plant, like it was just kind of, like, fussy and difficult. And it's, like I said, I've just had really good luck with it. And this is, like, the original leaf that it had come with. So I really love this, like, obviously, like, the yellow variegation, but, like, this specific, like, combination of variegation. I feel like this is, like, a very balanced variegation on this leaf. Like, it's not too much variegation, but it's still enough to be, like, really striking. And then these are some of the newer ones that it's put out. So again, very balanced. So I'm just, like, very blessed with this plant. And then this is the leaf that just came out. And one of the things that I just, like, love so much about this plant is they have that, like, whatever it's called, like, photo, whatever, variegation, where it comes out looking, like, totally green, like this one. And then over time, you can kind of, like, see the variegation develop into, like, this. So it looks totally green when it comes out, but then it'll eventually, like, the variegation will develop. But yeah, so I've had her, I've actually had to repot this like twice already because it's been growing so crazy. But I have her like very bright, and that may be helping with like the browning too. She's like right like 4 feet away from my south facing window. So she gets like very bright indirect light. And yeah, she's just been loving life. She is starting to put out like some aerial roots and stuff. And I will be eventually, once she grows some more, cutting her up to try to get like some more growth points in this pot. My Monstera albo I had cut up into like 4 or 5 cuttings, and I have just recently potted all of those into one plant. So I want this like really bushy, like lots of growth points where I can get like propagations and stuff like that from. So eventually that's my goal with this one too. But yeah, so Monstera, Aurea. And this is the Borsigiana, I guess. I feel like I'm saying that really incorrectly. But this is like the small form from what I bought it as. It's really, or I found it really difficult to find like the large form anywhere. Like that one's much less common than the small form, which is what this is. But this leaf is still really big. So that's like, and it's not even fenestrated. So I don't know. Okay, just 2 more. This is another one that I had been kind of like debating on. It was one of those plants where I was like, I mean, I like it, but I don't know if it's like I like it enough to go out of my way to like spend money on it. But, and also like Syngoniums are kind of like, I don't know what it is. Like Syngoniums to me, I either like love them, like this specific species of Syngonium, or I just like hate it. And I think it comes from, I had a Syngonium as one of my like very first plants, and it was just like so out of control. It was growing everywhere. Like I hated it. It was so leggy. Like no matter how much I cut it back, it just grew in really, really leggy. So I think it just kind of left this bad taste in my mouth. But I had start kind of like getting into like some species of Syngonium again. And this is one of the ones that I was kind of like debating on. So this is Syngonium Red Arrow. It's also called like Llano Carter Road or something like that. But this one was one of the ones that I like had my eyes on, and I liked it because it was kind of like leathery, and it had this what appeared to be kind of like a blue sheen in some lighting, which I thought was like really pretty, especially with the red back. But I finally, like, I got it for like a really good deal. I got it from Steve's Leaves, and it was like literally like $10. And it was when I got that Moon Valley Pilea. I got that one from Steve's Leaves too. And so it was like really cheap. It was on sale. And I was like, I mean, you know, I'll try it out. And they sent me like a pretty large plant. And what it's kind of funny because I had read, it started doing this thing, and I had read it's because it's kind of like testing the environment. And it puts out these like little, like tiny microscopic baby leaves. And I guess it's because it's like checking to see like if the environment is habitable and like it's happy before it puts out like its actual leaves. And I don't have, I think it's gotten over that phase, so I don't have any that I can show you, but they're like literally like the tip of your pinky. Like it's like the tiniest little baby leaf ever. So it's got these like super thick, glossy, kind of like leathery leaves. And I don't think that you can like really see it in this lighting, but it does have kind of this like blue sheen to it kind of, which is interesting. So it's like this really, really dark green foliage, but it has kind of this like bluish sheen to it. It's kind of like weird to describe, but it just gives off this like very, very dark leaf look, like a cool toned greenish blue. And then you can kind of see from the front, but the bottoms are this like really dark red. It's kind of like a blood red, like a super dark maroon. And this one's been growing really well. This one's actually like, this one's still in that really bad soil because I just haven't had time to get around to like repotting this one. Like y'all, I have been like going crazy repotting. Like I've repotted everything, and I'm just like really tired, you know, but it does not care. Like it does not care at all that it's been growing like crazy in this terrible soil. So I'm just like not going to worry about it right now. I'll probably swap it out like the next chance I get. I've also been busy. I've had like finals and stuff this week. So it's like, I literally do not have time right now, but maybe next week that'll be like something that I'm gonna do. But yeah, I just can't get over it. It's so shiny. Like it's just such a glossy, shiny leaf, especially when they first come out. Like, geez Louise. focusing. I really wish that I could get that kind of like blue on camera. I feel like you kind of see it right there. Maybe not. I'm trying to like determine in the viewfinder, but I just can't. Honestly, I can't really tell. So this is one of my all-time favorite plants. This is the Syngonium, another Syngonium. Syngonium Chiapense variegated. And this was one of those plants, like, you know, I've said before, like, you know, sometimes you see those plants and it's just like, you're like it's just like amazing. Like you see it and you're just like instantly fall in love. This was one of those plants to me because I like, kind of like the really sectorial variegation. And you can see this is its newest leaf. And that variegation just like, wow. Like the mint, the dark green, the light green, the white. It's just like such a beautiful combination. And you can see how much it's grown. Like this was the original leaf that it came with. It came with this one, which is not super variegated. This one. Come on, focus. This one. And then it put out this one, which was more variegated. And then this is its newest one. So you can see that was the original leaf. You see how big that is. And then this is the new one. So it's just gotten so much bigger. And that variegation to me is just gorgeous. And this one's becoming a lot more common. I got this one off of Etsy. I can't remember the shop that I had gotten it from. But you can find them fairly commonly on Etsy. They are a little bit more expensive in terms of plants. But this one has just been growing pretty quickly for me. And it's been happy with the moss pole. I have it over here in like the same place as my Monstera Aurea, which is like the super bright indirect light, just like 3 or 4 feet away from my south facing window. And yeah, she's just put out some really great variegation. And she has a new leaf that's coming out too. You can see she's just kind of like peeking out right here. And yes, yeah, so Syngonium Chiapense variegated. Another gorgeous Syngonium that I love. Okay guys, so that is all I have for you for this video. I was gonna do like I did last time, how I had done like the plant that one of the plants that was giving me problems, but I have like so many plants that are giving me problems right now because of that terrible soil. So we're just gonna skip that because I'm like over these plants that are giving me issues right now. So just there's a lot that's going on right now. Still working on wrapping it up, but hopefully now that pretty much everyone has been repotted, we're gonna start seeing some improvement. We're gonna start seeing some improvement. But thank you again for tuning in and watching this video. Thank you to everyone that has been subscribing and has been like liking and commenting and everything. It's just like so nice. It's just so nice to have like such kind people that are like tuning in and watching your video. And if you're into plant stuff and you want to see more plant videos, more plant content, monthly favorites, maybe I'll do some plant tours or something eventually. We'll see. You should subscribe and you will see more of those videos recommended from me. I would appreciate it. So thank you for tuning in and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.